ngayong Pebrero sa ating Policy Highlight. Ating tingnan ang CSC Resolution No. 2101122 o ang amendment to the revised interim guidelines on the use of leave credits for absences due to quarantine and or treatment of COVID-19. Ito ay na-promulgate noong December 31, 2021 at na-circularize sa pamamagitan ng CSC Memorandum Circular No. 2, Series of 2022. Inaamendahan ng resolusyong ito ang Memorandum Circular No. 8, Series of 2020 na naglalaman ng guidelines tungkol sa paggamit ng leave related to COVID-19. Bago tayo magpatuloy, narito ang mga termino na kailangan nating maintindihan. Ang excused absence ay ang period kung saan ang isang government worker ay hindi required mag-report sa opisina dahil sa kaniyang pagtupad ng required quarantine period, isolation and or treatment period, o di kaya naman ay may announcement of work suspension. Ang quarantine ay ang separation and movement restriction ng mga taong na-expose sa isang nakakahawang sakit upang obserbahan kung sila ay magkakasakit. Ang required quarantine period naman ay umiiral na number of days na prescribed for quarantine ayon sa guidelines ng IATF-IED at DOH. Samantala, ang isolation period naman ay paghiwalay ng taong may nakakahawang sakit mula sa mga taong walang sakit. Ang intensyon nito ay para magbigay ng treatment para sa pasyente na suspected, probable, o confirmed case. Ang treatment period ay bahagi ng isolation period. Sa bagong guidelines, considered as excused absence ang absence from work for every instance of the required quarantine period, isolation, and or treatment for government workers who are infected or identified as close contacts of a suspect, probable, and or confirmed cases of COVID-19 while in the performance of their official function. Sa dating guidelines, ang probisyon na ito ay para lamang sa mga public health workers. Ang mga considered na excused absences for the duration of the required quarantine period and isolation and or treatment period ay ang mga sumusunod. Absences due to exposure or infection incurred from official travel from countries with or without localized COVID-19 transmissions or from local travel from areas under community quarantine, and absences incurred when the employee is identified as close contacts of a suspect, probable, and or confirmed cases of COVID-19 while in the performance of official functions, either during on-site or work-from-home arrangement. Ang mga excused absences naman na para lamang sa duration ng required quarantine period ay ang mga sumusunod. Absences due to exposure or infection incurred from personal travel, and absence from work for every instance of the required quarantine period for government workers who are infected or identified as close contacts of a suspect, probable, and or confirmed cases of COVID-19 due to personal activities. Chargeable to leave credits naman ang mga absences for undergoing the required quarantine period, isolation, and or treatment kapag ang mga ito ay dahil sa personal international travel without approved travel authority before or after the declaration of a state public health emergency due to COVID-19, o personal activities in violation of Interagency Task Force for Emerging and Infectious Diseases or IATF-IED protocols. Paano naman kung wala ng leave credits ang isang empleyado? Ayon sa Omnibus Rules on Leave, kapag ubos na ang sick leave credits ng isang empleyado, ang mga absences ay chargeable to vacation leave credits. Kapag naman ubos na ang vacation leave credits, employees may apply for sick leave of absence without pay. Ano-ano ang mga documents na kailangang isubmit sa pagbalik sa trabaho? Kasama dito ang certificate issued by a government or private physician that the employee has submitted himself or herself for monitoring. Certificate of completion of quarantine issued by the local quarantine or health official. Medical certificate clearing the employee to report back to work and medical records showing COVID-19 treatment. Copy of RT-PCR results for those infected. And copy of barangay contact tracing form. Kung galing naman sa local or international travel, kailangan din mag-submit ng applicable documents kagaya ng travel authority, office order, lab test results, certificate of appearance, and other travel documents para sa official travel, and travel authority, lab test results, waiver, and other travel documents para sa personal travel. Nakasaad din sa guidelines ang responsibilities ng ating mga agency heads at human resource management officers. Agency heads are tasked to ensure that efficiency and productivity standards are met, and that public service is not prejudiced during the required quarantine, isolation, and/or treatment of concerned officials and employees. Agency heads through our HRMOs shall also monitor the use of leave credits for absences due to quarantine and isolation and/or treatment relative to COVID-19 based on the guidelines. These guidelines shall take effect retroactively on March 16, 2020, until the state of public health emergency and the community quarantine has been lifted. May iba pa nga bang mga klase ng excused absences? Sa CSC Memorandum Circular No. 23, Series of 2020, considered as excused ang mga absences na dahil sa pag-impose ng community quarantine. Kasama na dito ang pagka-stranded sa biyahe sa labas at loob ng bansa, pagkakaroon ng localized lockdowns, o pagkakasuspend ng public transportation. Sa CSC Memorandum Circular No. 16, Series of 2021 naman, considered as excused ang absences na dahil sa pag-avail ng COVID-19 first and second dose vaccination and booster shots, o dahil sa required treatment or recuperation kapag nagkaroon ng adverse effect ito sa empleyado. Ang mga guidelines na ito ay naglalayong mapangalagaan ang ating government workers sa panahon ng pandemya habang sila ay naglilingkod sa taong bayan. Kung may mga katanungan tungkol sa CSC Resolution No. 2101122, maaaring mag-email sa hrpso@csc.gov.ph. Maaari ding tumawag, mag-text, o mag-email sa contact center ng bayan para sa inyong mga reports, complaints, or suggestions. See you on our next Policy Highlight.